Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chris Does Reviews. All right, this video I'm gonna be reviewing Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie about Queen and Freddie Mercury. Which, to start this off, I'm a huge fan of Queen. I love them. Pretty sure I discovered them like in middle school, and around that time I was a little like meh, because middle school was like strictly my, I only like Metallica. I only like Metallica years. As I got through high school though, I like started, going like, these people sound okay. They're like Queen, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, all that shit. And, Queen has always really stood out to me. So I thought it was pretty cool that, they decided to make a movie about them. That being said, when they first announced it, and they announced that Rami Malek was going to be playing Freddie, needless to say, I was kind of worried about it. Not worried, but, just a little, like, unsure if he was going to be able to fill those shoes, because Rami, as far as I've seen, I've only seen some things with him in it, but as far as I've seen, he is a very soft-spoken and a very, not to say like one-dimensional actor, but he just doesn't come off as the kind of person who has a whole lot of range, like emotionally. So, I was just kind of iffy on whether or not he was going to be able to portray the character. That being said, he fucking nailed it. Like, the dude got it. Like, he got it good. He was flamboyant. He was charismatic. He was a loudmouth. He was just everything that he's never been before. And I loved it. He did it so perfectly. Everybody else nailed their roles too. I loved all of the band members. I, for the life of me, can't think of their names right now because, honestly, I never really knew everybody's names besides Freddie. Let's see. I liked Aidan Gillen. He was pretty cool in the movie. One thing that I thought was really nice about the movie was the fact that it sort of explored like this huge downside to Freddie, which I personally had never known about. So I'm not like super well versed in my Queen mythology, so I don't know if that was like common knowledge, but it was very moving to see that he wasn't always as big as he seemed. He had his moments of depression and all that shit too. So that it wasn't nice to see, but it was interesting to see, if that makes sense. Let's see what else. The music of the movie was cool. They played a lot of Queen songs, which, is a given, but it was still pretty cool to hear in the theater. It was like being at a concert almost, so that was pretty nice. Let's see. One thing that I do that shit a lot, don't I? I gotta stop. One thing that I did have a problem with was there were quite a few scenes with Rami singing that you could tell he was kind of obviously lip syncing, which isn't that big of an issue because he's a pretty deep voiced guy, as opposed to Freddie having a more soft voice. So it just kind of, it was something you had to choose not to nitpick, which is the best way that I can explain it. Because, it did kind of look weird hearing these high notes coming from this guy, where in the next scene he's talking and, his voice is all low. So that was kind of weird. Right when I said stop it, I do it again. Another thing I had a problem with was the guy that they had that recorded all of the new audio for Freddie's singing. I don't know his name. I know who he is. I know that he does a lot of Queen covers and he sings with Queen. That being said, I don't like him. I'm not saying that I don't like him as a person. I don't like his voice. And one thing that gets me is I see a lot of people commenting on his videos and they're like, oh, he's like Freddie Mercury incarnated. Oh my god, it's like Freddie's come back to us. And I'm like, no, shut the fuck up. There's an obvious fucking difference in this guy's voice. Yeah, sometimes he can hit a note that sounds like how Freddie would have hit it. But he sounds like an imitator. And that just really stuck with me throughout the entire movie. It was something that I had to actively choose not to think about in order to enjoy the movie. That being said, I did enjoy the movie. I loved it. And I mean, in the movie, there were some parts, like where they were reenacting the Live Aid concert, where, yeah, you know, it was pretty good. It was nice. Because with the Live Aid concert reenactment, he kind of had to do everything that Freddie did. And that's one thing that I've noticed about this guy in his videos is, you know, he seems like the kind of guy that knows that he's only famous because he's following, like, in some other guy's shadow. So he'll try to, like, add his own little bit to it while also, you know, sticking to what he is best at, which I don't like. You know, if you want to do your own thing, do your own thing. Stop, you know, impersonating them. God, I sound like a dick right now. I'm sure the guy's not that bad. You know, like I said, he does sound a little bit like Freddie, but not enough to call him the fucking reincarnation. What else can I say about the movie? It was a little bit long. There weren't very many parts, though, where I was like, you know, I'm so bored. Because for the most part, you know, it was interesting to learn all the, you know, history behind the band and, you know, behind Freddie and his eventual downfall and his eventual rise back up. It was interesting to learn about, you know, when he first discovered that he was dying, how he chose to deal with it. And that was actually one thing I really liked about the movie. I'm not sure if it's actually like that in real life, how it was, but in the movie they portrayed it as he hit bottom, and then he found out that he was dying, and then that's when he started slowly, you know, rebuilding his bridges and moving back up to the top. The top being the Live Aid concert, which, you know, I thought that was a pretty cool story. I like stories like that where people start, you know, down here, they go up here, you know, they're at the top, they fall, crash, and burn so freaking bad, and then they take that, and then they use it, and they go back up again, this time knowing, you know, what not to do. You know, movies like Boogie Nights, I love Boogie Nights, not because of all the sex scenes in it, I mean, you know, it's kind of a plus. Oh god, that was weird. No, I'm just kidding. You know, I like Boogie Nights because I like seeing the rise and fall and the rise in Mark Wahlberg's character. And that's one thing that I saw in Bohemian Rhapsody that kind of mirrored. You know, it was his rise, fall, and then rise again. I'm just repeating myself a lot. Point is, I liked the movie. I saw it this time in standard, so I'll probably go next time to see it in IMAX, which will be probably fucking awesome, to be honest. But yeah, it was a good movie. It was very well written. Everybody played their parts pretty perfectly. And the music was great. And it was just a great experience, you know. Even if you don't know much about Queen, it's still a pretty good movie to go see, you know. Just to see it. If you love Queen, it's a great movie to see. If you don't love it, it's still pretty good. So I think that's a good, you know, that's how you tell you've got something good, is if you're talking about a specific subject, and even if you don't have a whole lot of knowledge about that subject, like me, they can still enjoy it for what it is. But, yeah, anyway, I loved it. I give it a, let's see, I want to say 7.5 out of 10. Because, like I said, there were some parts of it that did kind of stick with me throughout the movie. But I will definitely see it again. And I'll recommend it. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. This has been another episode of Christo's Reviews. And I will see you guys in the next one, whatever I decide to review next. Oh, and by the way, If you guys like gameplay videos, be sure to check out my other channel. It's Chris Plays Games. I'm not very good at it, but, you know, it's something to watch. Alright, well, see you guys later.